Being a parent does not come with a manual. As a mom, I would often remind the children that we will face daily challenges together and that we will grow and learn from these challenges. I would often make them lists since they were young, reminding them that when they wake up, brush your teeth, comb your hair, wash your face, change your clothes, make sure you've got on underarm deodorant and perfume or cologne depending. Things like it's okay to cry if you need to, it's okay to throw tantrums, sometimes you may even break things. But it's equally as important that once you felt a sense of calmness, that you pick yourself up, clean up the mess and move on. They would get into friendships with others, and sometimes they did have some peer pressure, and I'd tell them, your body, your rules, and most importantly, never lie to yourself. I would remind them to always be a leader and not a follower, and stick with the types of people that resonate with their goals and values. Just because they're able to do something in life doesn't mean that they have to. Sometimes things require thought process, and if they found that after thinking things through, it did not require an action, that they didn't need to. Most importantly, treating people the way they would like to be treated. And that it was okay to have questions. Questions were perfectly normal in our household, and we had many. But one of the things that I would always remind them is never to question their own intuition. As they would go through the doors in the morning with their little backpacks and their lunch pails, I would say to them things like, you are amazing, you are enough, and never to let anyone tell them differently. Sometimes they would come home and they would feel sad or down, and I would remind them that this state is not permanent and that they should value each day given. In accordance with the Bible, joy always cometh in the morning. Sometimes they would do things without asking, but I would always remind them, that if they needed something, all they had to do was to ask. They would get one of two answers, a yes or a no. When they would have exams that were coming up, or if they had presentations or stuff like that, sometimes I would see like they would be anxious or feeling fatigued, and I would say to them, you're my dandelion. And by this, it's something that I've always said to them as they were growing up, reminding them that dandelions, no matter the weather or growth conditions, they're always going to thrive through the worst of conditions, and they're going to bloom this amazing yellow flower. I would also tell them that it was okay to wish for whatever it is that they wanted, but to keep these thoughts to themselves and continue to wish and hope in secret and watch it come to fruition. As they would go to friends' houses, I would always remind them, remember your please and your thank yous and your pardon me's if the situation arises, but also equally that never allow yourself to say I'm sorry unless you mean it. Our current situation, our current feeling is never permanent, but we have to value each day and love a wholesome life. No matter where or what the circumstances our children are in, it's important to let them know that they can always depend on us as their parents. We're always going to be there to support them. And if they need to come home, if they need a place to stay, if for any reason, whatever the circumstances, even if they want to return home permanently, it's important that they know that there's always a place here for them. Being happy, showing kindness, is always a choice. Our children are the very representation of all the goodness that we've instilled in them. They are our investment, and they will always be loved by us, their parents. On this Mother's Day, I just want to take the time to remember all the things that my mother has taught me and her mother before her, and these are the things that I've transferred down. It stems from generations, it really does, and I've transferred them on to my children. And now that I'm a grandmom, I see my son doing the same thing with his daughter. I really hope that if your mom is alive, that you take the time. Doesn't mean that you've got to buy anything special or do anything outrageous for her. If she's not within visiting, if she's just a phone call away, just picking up the phone and letting her know how much you appreciate and admire her and thank her for all the things that she's done in your life is important. Words mean more than you think, especially when it comes from your child. For those of you who do not have mothers anymore, such as myself, my mom's passed on, I hope that you will find someone out there that, even if they're a mother, their children may not be around. Make it a point to try and make this coming Sunday a special one for her. I hope that this message meets and greets the ones that need it the most. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.